Good afternoon. My name is Kira McCoy, and this is my ANS 252 colt starting groundwork video. Today, I will be going over the TQA groundwork, but before I get started on that, I would like to introduce TQA itself. TQA is a nonprofit organization focused on working with experts in the equine and ranching industry to set industry quality standards and certifications in training and selling horses to the public, as well as working on ranches where horsemanship, stockmanship, and roping skills are required. Today, I will be going over the TQA groundwork with one of our booster mares that I have nicknamed Elmo. To keep track through the phases, we use these score sheets, one side being task completion and foundation, and the other side being temperament. We score them every day from a -3 to a +3. This is the score sheet that I have created for Elmo. As you can see, in the beginning, we were all in the negatives, but throughout the last 2 weeks, we have improved a lot more in foundation, but we still have a lot to work on in temperament. She is an 18-year-old mare, so I can understand that she has a lot of self-preservation, and this is very different from the life she has been experiencing for the last 18 years. Now, the goal of TQA groundwork is to prepare the horse to saddle. And by the end of the 2 months that these horses are with us, these are the 15 things that we expect this horse to be able to do. They should have gone through the TQA groundwork and all 4 phases by the time they leave our school. Now, before we begin, this is an important term that we are looking for whenever we are working with our horses, which is willing submission, which can be defined as after the initial cue, the horse performs the task on a loose rein with no leg pressure. With us, for groundwork, this would mean they go around the circle with no pressure from the flag and they aren't pulling on the rope. Now let's begin. I will be scoring Elmo in this video how she was the day this was recorded. And for good to catch, I gave her a 0 this day. She didn't try to get away from me or anything, but she also did not try to face up until I gave her a little nudge from behind. It's always important with new halter broke horses that you put the rope around their neck at first, so if they do try to move away, you at least have some way of holding them and they can't just run off on you, because that will teach them bad manners. For leading with willing submission, I gave her a 0 because in TQA, we have the expectation that they walk behind us, and she still really wants to try to get ahead of me, so I still really need that flag to make sure that she stays behind me. Another important term that you should know is horizontal direction, and that can be defined as when slack is taken out of the reins, the horse puts slack back into the reins with suppleness through the pull and loin. And there are 8 signs to be able to see horizontal direction. One of the really important signs is the outside hind steps out and the inside hind steps up under the navel. Continuing on, for this video, I tried to record everything at the beginning of our session because when I'm using my score sheet, I tried to record how she is at the beginning of our session and not how she is at the end, because that kind of gives me a better picture of how she is doing. And for horizontal direction today, I gave her a 0, and for stage 1, I gave her a +1. And stage 1 can be defined as stopping the inside front foot and the other feet walking forward around it. For stage 2, I gave her a 0, and stage 2 can be defined as the hindquarters pulling the horse in a reverse motion. And for stage 4 in both directions, I gave her a 0 today, and that can be defined as stopping the inside hind foot and walking the other feet forward around it. For stage 3, I gave her a 0 in both directions because this is a vast improvement from what we have had in the last 2 weeks. And stage 3 can be defined as lateral movement of the front and hind feet together, aka a side pass. You also always want to make sure to ask for stage 1 after you ask for stage 3 so they face up to you. For horizontal direction, standing to the left, I gave her a 0. And when you ask for horizontal direction, you really want to ask as softly as possible, seeing how little pressure you need to get their head to move around. And for horizontal direction, standing to the right, I gave her a +1 because she just had a bit more willingness on this side. For stage 1 in a crisis, I gave her a +1 today because today this lesson really made her think. It made her really think of if she pulled back, there was pressure, but if she wasn't pulling back, there was no pressure at all. And right there, I'm seeing her licking and chewing, which is a really good sign. That was a really nice turn. She barely pulled back, so I'm thinking, why not pick up the pressure a little bit? She did it really good again. So this time I'm really going to pick it up. And there she is. She's like trying to drop her head, and she's really thinking what's happening. And then I do a really big one just to see how she is, and she doesn't even pull back. So that made me really happy. Now for this part, I have my lovely assistant, Gavin, helping me out. Just kidding. I asked Gavin if he could help me with this horse because I really have not had enough experience working with picking up horses' feet, and she really wants to paw, and I wanted to make sure that there were no mistakes with this horse so it wasn't a bad experience picking up her feet for the first time. So I really appreciate Gavin working with her, and really the most important part of this is just waiting until she takes a moment to pause and then dropping her foot once she takes that pause and really thinks about it. And on this offside foot, I made sure to keep all of the video clips in of showing the improvement because Gavin worked on this for a little bit. But it ended out having the last time him picking up that front foot, it was perfect, which was awesome to see. And then for the back feet, she did a lot better, so I gave her a 0. Gavin also just worked on picking up her back feet as well and letting her be comfortable with it a few times. Now, while Gavin is showing off Elmo for me, I'm going to go over her foundation, task completion, and temperament scores for the day. And for foundation, I gave her a +1. For temperament, I give her a -2. And for task completion, I give her a 0. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.